Thank you so much for joining in. We had a lot of queries, a lot of thoughts that we received from a lot of peeps from our first session. And there are a lot of thoughts that we were not able to answer. We just said, just be with us, trust the process, and we will eventually get there. The best part about what we learned in the first workshop was the energy and the intellectualism that you guys brought to the table with all the thoughts that were discussed while we were the whole subject that we have taken up together. I would not take a lot of your time because I know a lot of you have come from different work assignments. I'm sure most of you had a busy time, but I would want you to get to the zone that we began with in the past of focusing on what you will hear now. And wherever you are, just compose yourself, and if there are distractions around, just shut the door. Be with a pen and paper if you really want to have it. If you have a very sharp memory and you want to be more on the debating side, and just be here is what we need from you. I'll be playing something for all of you, and meanwhile please focus on what I'll be saying in the process. Be with me for next 3 minutes, and then we'll be good to go with our today's workshop. And before we get into that, I want to tell you that it is more about yourself. This is an immersive workshop where you will be getting deeper to the understanding of what we have been talking about in the past workshop. Whenever you are ready, close your eyes. As I said, focus on one thing in this music. Focus on one thing, then I have things for you. Close your eyes and begin to focus on a great red ball in the middle of your chest. A magnetic ball that glows and slowly grows stronger. Before your eyes, it begins to pull through your body and call to it every pain, worry, sorrow, and trace of suffering. Slowly, you see them all begin to flow towards you, trapped in a magnetic pull. Slowly, the ball draws the pain to it. Slowly, the ball draws the pain to it, becoming a great big sphere of pain that spins and spins. Has it got it yet? Where does pain linger? Focus on that. In your body, where does pain linger? Focus on it. Travel through your body to the place and begin to pull on the pain together with the ball. I repeat, travel through your body to that place and begin to pull on the pain together with the ball. Gently drag the pain all the way through the body to your center. Now push the pain into the red sphere that grows stronger with everything it absorbs. Push it. Push the pain into the red sphere that grows stronger with everything it absorbs and finally bursts into a big spectacle of fireworks of all colors. As you sit and enjoy the spectacle, you take a mental check of every area of your body and find there is no pain. As you sit and enjoy the spectacle, you take a mental check of every area of your body and find there is no more pain. You course through your toes, up your thighs, and all the way to the crown of the head. You course through your toes, up your thighs, and all the way to the crown of the head. And as you open your eyes, you're free of suffering. You shout out loud, I am alive, I'm free, I'm capable, I'm strong. You keep telling this to yourself, I'm alive, I'm free, I'm capable, I'm strong. Yes, I'm alive, I'm free, I'm capable, I'm strong. I'm alive, I'm free, I'm capable, I'm strong. To the world out there stopping you, holding you back, you're telling them, I'm alive, I'm free, I'm capable, I'm strong. Be with me. Whenever you feel like, get back. We're all together, giving each other a one armed hug, full of empathy, warmth, and confined to self affection that is in abundance with us like a balloon. Let that balloon burst and fill the void of this world caused due to pain and suffering. To all those dark, shady places that you have been through, echo it loud. I'm alive, I'm free, I'm capable, and I'm strong. Shout it loud. I'm alive, I'm free, I'm capable, I'm strong. I welcome you all to the second immersive of Peace Photography Project. Thank you so much for being a wonderful cohort. I thank you all for the patience that you have shown. And with a huge round of applause, let's invite our facilitator who will get us deeper into the understanding of photography. Mr. Sohail Mir. Let's unmute and clap out loud. Thank you so much, guys, for your time.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, thank you so much. And I am excited as I was last week, and I hope you guys had a wonderful week and you had fun with the assignment that we gave you. Um, I just want to let you know from today's workshop, we have what, 7 left? I don't remember. It is going to be all about you. Most of the work will be done by you. My job will be just to guide you and introduce you to some new techniques. And we really want to get creative with this whole method. I want to make this workshop something that's really, really different from what most of the photography courses you have seen before, because this is not just a photography workshop, right? You know that. This is much, much more than that. And the idea, as I mentioned last week, is using photography for peace building. And you may be thinking how that really is possible. And I did mention last week the things that photography has given me, but I would like to pick on just one thing out of all those, which is the empathy. Empathy is ability to identify and understand other people's emotions, right? So it is very important for a compassionate action. If you want to help somebody, you have to have empathy. Without that, it's going to be very hard for you to understand them. If you don't understand them, you obviously cannot help them. So how does photography teach you to be compassionate, right? Let's look at that real quick, and then we'll get into the program. So photography teaches you how to pay attention to details. You are constantly looking for something unusual. You're constantly looking for some thought-provoking emotions on people's faces. So you're constantly in search of something different. And you know what happens during that process? You learn a lot about people. I have seen, I'm not bragging about it, when I meet my friends and I say, hey, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Is everything all right? And they're surprised. They said, no one asked me about me that all day. How did you pick on that? I don't have any special powers, and I'm confident this came from photography because I can see a face and I can tell you exactly what's going on. So, because I have been taking so many photos of people and in studio, outside studio, but all you need is passion. You need to do that with deep, deep, deep love. So it's going to come when you do that. So the other thing this particular program will teach you is teamwork, right? That's what you just did. Is when you work as a team, you will tackle problems together. You will identify solutions together. And in that process, you will come to know each other. And at the same time, you will improve your photography. If you have this doubt that will this particular program teach me how to take good pictures, I promise you, at the end of this program, you are going to be much, much, much better photographers. So the way we have designed this whole thing. And at the same time, you're going to be awesome people too. So I have a pop quiz for you. I know I have given an assignment. So what's going to happen today is there are going to be two sections mainly. The first one, what I will do is we're going to put you into smaller groups one more time, breakout sessions, and we will give you a photograph. Everybody is going to get the same photo, okay? So just remember the title of the photo, the story in the photo is Portrait of a Girl, okay? Portrait of a Girl. We are giving you the theme, okay? You don't have to come up with a theme. So it's Portrait of a Girl. You will be divided into groups. You will get 15 minutes. In those 15 minutes, you're going to identify problems with that picture and solutions that you have to offer, okay? So it is an amazing technique where you will honestly learn things that I haven't even taught you yet. Okay, so that's what going to happen. So I think we have 24, so probably 5. You will be divided into 5 groups, I guess. Take 15 minutes. When you come back after 15 minutes, we're going to spend 25 minutes to discuss what you have come up with. Okay, so that will be one session, and then after that, the second session is the assignment that we had given you before. We will first discuss the ones you have picked out of all those stories. And then I will try my best to talk about everybody's photograph after that, because I know we had 24 entries, so that you get sort of feedback and see where you stand. I do not expect you to be perfect at this time, because we just had one class. So remember what I said first day. The bad photo doesn't exist. Please keep that in mind. Okay, so don't be ashamed. And I think I have somebody asking me. Jeewika is asking a question. Go ahead.
So the question is related to the group task that you're talking about. You said we have to point out the issues in the photograph, right?
Correct.
So is it the is it from a photo, like the photograph? Technical angle.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
And
yes, the technical issues in the photo. The problems with the photo. You don't really have to be a photographer, but obviously you are photographers. You may be able to find some technical issues in that. But if you don't know everything about techniques at this point, we don't expect you to do that anyways. You can come up with, like, anybody who has never taken a photography class looks at a picture, says, oh, there's this wrong with it, there's something wrong with it. So you can just discuss those in a group setting, and then tell us. And of course, solutions are more important. You never ever want to tell people what is wrong. You should always keep in mind that offer a solution, even if it's not the perfect solution. It's always a good positive thing to do. So let's do that. Let's divide them. And I think you already have the photograph that I have given you. So please, can you share that with 5 groups, give them 15 minutes, and then they come back and let us know what they noticed.
Yes. Just one thing that I wanted to mention before you get into the groups. First step that you do is check who is my participant in the group. Second thing, make sure that everybody is sharing thoughts about the picture. So it is very, very important to have that.
Okay, so let's say group breakout room number 1. Who would like to talk first? Anybody from number 1? Do you remember who was room number 1? Do they know who room number 1 was, or should we just pick the name?
Please pick the name, sir. Sir, I don't know in which group I was. I don't know the number of the group.
Okay, I'm going to start with you then.
Okay. I copied the messages that we discussed, but the classroom was closed, so I couldn't copy all the messages. We had 8 points that we discussed. Please, friends, help me. I have 3 points copied, and please help me with telling the remaining ones.
Yeah.
Number 1, background light was disturbing the lens and eyes. Number 2, hands were cut. Number 3, headroom was too large. Number 4, it was the same color and matching color of her cape with the background. And the room was too mess. It could be a little arranged. And my partners, please share the remaining points if you remember.
Okay. What about solutions? Can anybody say what we could have done with this picture to make it even better?
जी, हर प्रॉब्लम का अगर उल्टा सोचें तो सॉल्यूशन ही हो जाता है। जैसे अगर बैकग्राउंड लाइट बहुत तेज था तो लड़की को हमारे राइट हैंड की तरफ मूव करना चाहिए था, और जैसे कैप का कलर बैकग्राउंड के साथ एक ही था, तो कैप या बैकग्राउंड इनमें से एक को चेंज कर सकते थे। और हेडरूम में बहुत ज़्यादा फासला था, तो कैमरा कैमरा है तो थोड़ा we could move the camera a little bit down to cut the headroom, and it could take her hands also then.
Very good. Anybody else from the next group?
Hello, good
Yes.
evening, sir. Okay, in my group, we were three people in the group: Soheb, Prapti, and me, Lakshmi. So we come up with a few points, like the kind of color scheme used in the photo was really blurred and less brightened, and there is no uniqueness in the photograph. Like the kind of pose the girl is having in the photo is like a very simple. There is no uniqueness in the photograph, and for like for a lot of distractions was in was in were in that photographs. So our focus from the girl is like distracted a lot, and for changing or for abolishing all those issues or all those challenges, we need to like make the girl opposite to the light. Like the light should be in front of the girl, and there should be a different pose carried out by the girl, and the color of her clothes can also be like changed. So through this
Good.
we can improvise the photo.
Very good. Soheb?
Yes, I'm from the same group. So I found three major errors, which from my point of view, firstly, I saw there was lack of exposure. So secondly, the girl was not properly framed. We can see a lot of headroom, which already Mustafa has discussed, and there was noise. So that's all. I think the majority of the problem could have been solved by the exposure value,
Okay.
that the white balance of the picture, so that the face of the girl who could have been visible would have been better. So
Okay.
yes, that's all. And
All
there
right.
was a zoom on a photo which would have cropped that window. So that's
Right. Okay, good. How about next group? Let me just pick on you guys then. Vipin's group. Vipin.
I think we were the first, like Mustafa Bhai shared all the
Oh, you
things
were with
very
him?
well.
Okay. Okay, then who else is then left here? Next time we have to come up with a strategy to remember the groups. So who's the next one? I think it would be really nice if you can actually mention who else was in your group. That would be good, because that's the whole idea, is to understand each other. So it's okay. We're all doing this for the first time here. So don't panic, don't worry about it. So what we learned from this one is, we're going to talk about more about it, is when you get into these breakout rooms, the first thing you want to know is remember who is in your group. Okay, that's very important. Remember their names. So that's actually pretty good thing to know. So who's next?
So we are group 5. That's what we know, and we were planning to go last, but I'll just start.
Okay.
I had it was me, Jeewika, Owais, and Ayushi who were discussing the picture.
Okay.
I will not repeat the points that have already been shared.
Okay.
One thing that we again, there is some story that needs to come out of the girl's face, and the picture is not allowing us that, which is clearly the lighting issue, and maybe tilting her hat and making her face the window could be one thing. or and the other was clustered background and all those things, and the other is the sides. Just like the headspace, maybe because it's a portrait, we can go further more, closer, or maybe just crop the side background of of the subject. And one thing that came out was that it would have been nicer if the subject would have been, looking into the camera, into the lens, or maybe if she's looking in that direction, we may click from that direction where she's looking. Maybe even if we want that shot, maybe the camera person could have, moved a little. And yeah, so I think
Yeah, very nice.
yeah, that's mostly about from our group.
Who's those are really good points, all of you. Okay, who's next? I think we have probably one more group to go, maybe two more actually, 5 groups. We heard from 3 or 4. I think we heard from 3. So who's next?
So we have room number 4 left, which is Deepak, Mehak, Ram, and Shimail.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, so
Who's
somebody
going to-
from that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it was me, Deepak, Ram, and Shimail, and the other guys were coming, like the sir and other 2 were coming and going. So we don't know were they in our group or not. So I think the other groups already mentioned what we depict from the photo, as the background was not clearly mentioned. And the last time we sir totally described the contrast, like the red dress and the barak, the contrast we defined last time. We can't find any contrast with the photo and the background, eye-to-eye contact, and obviously the hands. And the other thing we described, the other groups already described, was the background, which is very disturbing. Like there is so much messy. So either the lighting can be changed, or there should be more contrast and direct eye-to-eye contact. That's what I remember what our group discussed.
Good.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Good.
And so we have room number 3 left, which is
Room number
Akhtar,
3 left.
Christina, Farzana, Priyanka, and Vikash.
Full length.
Yeah.
The full length portrait would have been better.
Okay.
Photographer could have asked her to use a different pose or create a gap between the arms and the body.
Very good. Very good. Okay.
The picture is not clear. Photographer could have cropped the window out of the photograph.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay.
And that frame can also be taken in the picture, or else it should have been cropped fully.
All right. So I think Akhtar is raising his hand. Go ahead, Akhtar.
Okay, I want to say that if we click that picture on eye level, so it will be more attractive and better. And on upper side, we can see negative space also, so we can crop. Okay, that's it.
Okay. There's one more hand up here. Jeewika, you want to say something else?
Yeah, just that now when I'm looking at it, I think the tilt is also, there's a slight tilt also that I can see, like the window is not straight. It looks a little slanted, very, very little, but yeah, there is a little tilt in the background. Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
I
Archibald.
want to add. I
Yes,
don't know if that picture will follow rule of third, so it will look more attractive.
Okay.
Because it's that's it.
Good. Okay. Who else? That's it?
Maybe Mrs. Suhel, rule of third in a portrait. I mean, it's very difficult for me to imagine. So you could you please elaborate on that when you...
Yeah. We that's the first technique I'll be teaching you today. So that's going to come. That's a very good point. Prapti, you have anything to say, or just hand is up there?
Yeah, just like two small things. First is like I mean I don't know, it's very random. The hat is usually wore out outdoors. So when it's inside, I'm not sure if it's doing its purpose. Second thing that I thought of was if you look at a picture, it's of a child. Um, so and the background is like very contrasting. It looks very adult, and it looks like some adult is gonna sit in that space. So I feel it's not very contrast. It is very contrasting to the subject. That's
All right. Very good. Very impressive. First of all, you called my home messy. I don't think I will like that. I'm just joking. It was done on purpose. It was messed up on purpose. Some of the things lying there are like that always anyways. So that's my daughter, just in case you want to know, many, many years ago. The basically majority of the people that your input was very good. I was very impressed. I do not expect you to find technical problems that you haven't learned yet. Like some did mention rule of thirds, some did mention a lot of headroom. Headroom is always, somebody would mention that who knows how to take pictures. So that's sort of an advanced knowledge, which is good. So real quick, let me just go through this and address exactly what you just mentioned. Remember, photography is about light, right? Means writing with light or drawing with light. The first thing a photographer should notice is where is the light coming from? And unless you are trying to create some creative shots where you want to keep light in the background, that we can discuss later. But right now, first and foremost, one thing we could have done is asked her to turn head other way. She's right now facing away from the light. Now, one thing I want to teach you right now, which you should remember forever, is when you see a subject and you have issues with it, especially background issues, you got to figure out what are my options here. If you are taking a candid photo of somebody, you definitely cannot ask that person to move, right? It's gone. The moment is gone. As soon as you tell somebody in a candid shot, pose or something, it's not candid anymore. So you can't tell the subject to move. The only option you have at that point is that you move, right? And then you may have limited options when you have to move, because sometimes the light is not going to be on the face. So it gets really tricky. That's one. Number two, background. Now, if you're doing a planned shot, you have lots of options. You could remove the stuff from the background, or you could remove the person from the background and move them to a much better, nicer place. There's a series of things I want to show you here in this particular photo that I'll explain to you. It's not a perfect solution, but let me just go there and share my screen. That one. Okay. So this is what you saw, right? Now, most of the people do agree that it was the background. We need to take care of that first, or do we need to take care of light also? Let's take care of the light first. There we go. Now, we can see the subject, which is a big help. We still have problems, like most of you mentioned, is the background.
Yes.
And what do? Since it's a posed image, we don't need to worry about asking the subject to move, right? So we ask the subject move to a cleaner area. So all of a sudden, the points you mentioned, like some mentioned clothing, hats, we don't want to get too deep into that at this point. Those were all valid points, by the way. because when you want to take a portrait, you want to keep in mind what clothing to wear, what really suits that environment. Those are very important points. And we're going to discuss those when we discuss people photography. But here, for example, since it was a pose portrait, we could ask her to move to a cleaner space. And then eventually, some people mentioned eye contact. We could do that. We could just zoom in. So here, all the way from here, we started from here, we went to this, we went to this, and we went to this. It's not a perfect portrait, but it's definitely better than where we started. Okay. The whole idea of this particular exercise was that you should right away eliminate step 1, 2, and 3, and you should go straight to this one, right? So if you have practice, you know exactly where the light is coming from. As soon as you come in, what I do is you first study the location ahead of time. Whether you are taking landscape photos or people photos, you study the location ahead of time and then figure out exactly where you want to place your subject. Sometimes your subject can be very, very busy person. It can be a really important personality. You can't make them wait. Sometimes people, you make them wait, they get bored, they get anxious, you lose the expression. This is exactly what happened in this particular exercise. You can see her, she is bored to death. She really doesn't want to do this because it took me so much time to take these pictures with her. And eventually we get to this point. We're going to talk about rule of thirds. We're going to talk about that in detail. But right now, just remember that when you are taking the picture, you want to plan your shot ahead of time so that you don't have to go through 4 steps. Okay, you go straight on this. From here, you go straight to this step, right? Last thing I want to mention about this, when do you think this picture will work? Maybe a little bit modifications, but the background will still work. When do you think that would be the time? Remember that. It would be if we are taking a picture of somebody who has, for example, designed these things. This is her job. This is her hobby. And you want to show that in the background. Obviously, we could make it a little bit more blurred, but at that point, this picture would have worked. The background would have worked. So there are still lots of problems with this. We can fix those, but at least the background is fine in that story. So she makes these little cups, for example. That's her job, or that's her art. Then it's working. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right. We will talk more about it. It was a really good exercise. The idea was for you to figure out if you can, in a group setting, figure out problems. And I was really happy to see that majority of the points you guys raised were spot on. Perfect. Lighting was the first thing you all said. Background was, which everybody mentioned. So that's a good sign, and I'm very happy to see that. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to discuss the image that we had given you assignment of, right? Let's do that. 1 second. Do you remember what groups you were in? Because we can go ahead again and want whoever was in charge or rep of the group come forward and tell us what do you think about the assignment that was given to you. Just give me 1 second. Let me just change my. There we go. So again, we had 5 groups, right? The assignment that was given a couple of days ago. So we had 5 groups in that, and we would like to go ahead, talk to group number 1 and let us know what you had and which one you picked.
I believe I will be facilitator of group 1.
Okay.
Hey, can you share your screen?
Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm going to bring those pictures into my system so that we can also look at them. Okay. Perfect. All right, go ahead. So which one was, which picture did you pick? So who was in the first group? Group one. Tell me which picture image did you pick?
So we have in group one, Prapti, Mehak, Ranjit, Akhtar, and Christina.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which
am I audible?
Yes, you are. Which photograph was that you think you want to represent here?
Yeah, we selected the Ranjit's one where he's playing tabla.
Okay. All right. And what were the other photos in there in your group? Do you guys remember? Because I'm going to group them. Do you remember what other images you were there?
Fourth one.
Fourth one, this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And tabla, of course.
Yes.
And anybody else? Do you remember what else was there?
Yes. Right next to tabla, there is this Jama Masjid.
That was part of it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And
And the girl holding the coffee and a book.
perfect.
Last one. Yes.
That's
this
it?
one.
These four. Okay. All right. And you guys picked Ranjit's picture. Who's going to talk about it first? Why did you pick it? And let's first ask Ranjit. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah. I wanted to I wanted to take the photograph in a village, but because of the low light and the climate, I was not able to do that. Okay.
Okay.
The photo, yeah, the photo. I guess the photo tells everyone three things: music, travel, and reading. These three things I wanted to mention. So therefore, I have planned this photograph. Actually, my wife took that photo. I've asked her to take that. You can say camera angle and position of the camera. Yeah. These are few of the things that I have come up with.
Okay.
Can anyone else would like to share?
Okay.
Yes. Yes. I can share.
Go ahead, please.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. So we can see movement on his right hand. So and we can feel the music, I think, also in this picture.
Excellent.
Yes. That's it. According to me.
Very good. Anybody else?
Yes.
I feel. Sorry, may I go on?
Okay. So yeah, as there is tabla, music, books, and everything, and there's a quote by Buddha that doubt everything and find your own light. To my imagination, that's what Ranjit is trying to do, like exploring everything, like the books, tabla, music, everything, and just finding his own path and just exploring. And that's the reason why we chose this picture, because it depicts clearly what Ranjit is about, like what all about himself.
Awesome.
Just adding to Mehak, one thing that I really liked in the picture was the fact that I feel that all of these things, music, travel, and all of these things, takes us to ourselves. So in a way, trying to connecting with ourselves. So I
Yeah.
Like that.
Very nice. Very nice. So we had these 4 images in there, and you picked the tabla one. Okay, well, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about the rest of the images anyways, but let's go to group number 2. Just a second.
Yes. So we have Jeewika, Vikas, Owais, Ramu, and Lakshmi.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys, who's going to go and let me know which image you have picked? Whose image did you pick? Who's going to talk first? Who was? Okay.
Oasis image is, I think 21.
21.
The person who is like sitting and holding the camera. Yeah.
This one, right?
Yeah, we have
All
spoken
right.
that.
So who's going to talk about that? Come on. Let's get interactive. Talk. Most of the people should be talking. That would be nice. Okay. Raise your hand. Who's going to talk? I'm going to call on your name otherwise.
This photo was like clicked by Owais, and we have chosen that image because that photo is very unique, and it shows like if we see the photo, we see this photo behind that person, peacemaker is like written over here, which like which is another good thing about this picture. Like there are a lot of different small stories behind that image. Like one is promoting peace, and in a artistic in an artistic manner always has represented that picture. I just want to keep always should share her vision, her ideas for that picture. That would be like very good if he'll share his ideas for that picture, because
Yes.
he has picked that picture.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Always. Go ahead.
Yes. So the most important thing I want to share about this photo, there is a boy who is holding a camera very passionately in this photo, and something is holding him back to follow his passion, like the cage in the front, in his front. So I think the most interesting point in this photo is that.
Okay. Very good.
And also the mood of the photograph, and that's black and white. I think that adds to the beauty of this photo, according to the story.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Very good. Let's go next group.
I think even the body language of the boy in the photograph is also very curious and enthusiastic.
What is curious? I'm sorry.
The pose, the body language.
Oh, the body language. Okay. Yeah. He's trying to have a lot of sneak in somebody. Yeah. Okay. Next group. Ipsra, what was the next group?
So we have Ayushi, Suraj, Mehroob, Priyanka, and Mustafa.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just a sec. So yeah, we were not clear about that the pictures that we have already sent, and any new picture that we have to do will work. So we what we did was we shared our second pictures from in the group, and then voted upon one picture and selected one, and
Which
then
one?
created a yeah.
Which one is that?
Yeah, this is the one that I'm sharing. Can somebody share it on WhatsApp group, guys?
It was the sunset picture.
Yeah, so it is Suraj, Mehroob, Priyanka, and Mustafa. So we and me. So we are 5 people. I'll just tell. I'll also tell you the pictures that we have sent for the first assignment. That includes picture 1. And so last second line mein, the middle one, picture 18, yes. And then there's a black and white, yeah. So last line, picture 22. Yeah. Priyanka and Suraj, what were your pictures?
It is
Yeah.
not there.
Okay.
So I
It's
think
not there.
Suraj's was the one with the paintbrushes in it. It's in
Yes.
the last row, the
Yes,
middle
it is.
photo. Yeah.
Paintbrush. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one.
Yeah. And then there's one more. So these are the pictures that our group had. And we voted upon the sunset picture. And how we created the presentation is so we just shared the evocations that we had from the picture, like why did we chose that picture and why did we like what we felt after seeing the picture. So I would request like one our team one
So the
sorry,
sunset picture is not here. Is that what you're talking about?
it's not
Okay.
it's in the main group. If
Okay.
Sir,
you
please,
can access
can
the
you
what.
scroll, sir, can you please scroll up so that we can see
These are all images.
whether it's there or not with you. No, the sunset
This
one
is
is
what I
not
have.
here.
This is what I have. I
No,
don't have
no,
anything else.
that,
Okay,
that's not
okay,
the one
okay,
that we sent. Yeah.
So
It's
okay.
not there. So it's in the main WhatsApp group. So we were confused about the assignment that it's the first like the task one image that we have to
okay.
vote upon, or like there's some other image that we have to vote
Okay,
upon. So
that's
instruction.
okay. That's okay. That's okay. All right. So we'll figure it out. We'll look at that sunset image. Maybe if we can't do it now, maybe let's pick on the next group. And if the image comes in the meantime, we can talk about it. So who was the
Sure.
next?
Excuse me, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I forwarded the sunset picture in WhatsApp main group.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we can share that if required. Yeah.
Let me see.
Yep.
I can find it. Oh, I see it here. Okay. It's going to take me a little while to save it. Okay, and then send it out. Let me just do this real quick. Okay. All right. You guys see it? So do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So who's going to talk about it? Let's talk about it. It's actually a beautiful picture. Go ahead.
So Mehru, Mustafa, would you guys like to start? Because one of you actually shared your evocations.
Okay. The reason that we selected the sunset one, we had 3 points that I noted right now. First point, that is my point. It shows completion and achievement of a great goal, and finally time for rest. Also, this image captures various details in one frame. It has adventure, warmth, candidness, and friendship. And other point, this image shows the result or a process which is very close to the results to encourage the adventurous side in us.
Very good. Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So what's the next group?
So we have Suhaib, Deepak, Vijay Lakshmi, Rupal, and Farzana.
All right, guys. So which one was yours?
Yes, yes. So we had the fifth one from the first row,
Okay.
7th one, 13th, and 14th one.
Okay. So which one did you pick?
7th.
Which one did you?
We picked the 13th one.
You picked 13th. Okay, let's talk about that. Is that a self-portrait?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so go ahead. You talk about it first then.
These are picture clicked by using a self timer. So first of all, we are 5 people in the group. So unfortunately, one of us decided to quit the group. So another one was maybe was he or she maybe was ill. So at last we had only 3 photographs to discuss. So we had a discussion yesterday. So and this photograph was selected by vote on the basis of votes. So what is what my photograph is about is I thought I must remain stick to the frame. Yes, the theme was what tells about me. What which photograph can simply tell about me when we see the photograph that tells most about me. So I tried to stage this. So it was not nothing like this. So I overnight I printed some photos, placed it, made this like this, and made a stage like this, and clicked a photograph using a self timer, and added each and everything in the frame is telling something about me. As you can see, there are frames. There are some paint brushes, colors, and other tripods, monopods. So basically tells a little bit about me. Yes.
Yeah, it tells a lot about you.
Yes.
Not a little bit. I did study that picture. I studied everybody's picture, I mean, in full detail, which I'm going to talk about soon. So is there any other group left? Or are we done?
So we have one more group left, which is Vipin, Amir, Shimail, Salma, and Shankar.
Okay, which one?
Yeah.
Who's going to talk? Shimail, which one was the photo? I'm going to pick on you now. Which picture did you guys pick?
The second one. So the fifth one.
Fifth one?
Sixth one.
Oh,
Sixth one.
sixth
The
one.
shadow.
Okay.
No,
Sorry.
fifth one. Yes, sir.
Sixth one. Okay, this one.
Yeah.
All right. That is by Vipin. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, who's going to talk about it? How about let's start with Vipin. Vipin, come on, tell us what it is.
So yeah, the theme was about yourself. So this is my family. He's my son,
I
and
think the
my
picture is
wife.
not relayed properly.
Uh, yeah. So means it was just a casual photo. So I was outside and I saw the light was good, and my wife, she was not in frame, and her shadow was there on the wall, and it gave me a good perspective, like the kids who are inside, and it also gave me a sort of story that started building up inside my mind, that kids are, due to COVID, they are inside, and that part of the frame, the right side, is also dark, which shows like a kid is like caged inside, and we are vaccinated, we are out, and that part of the frame is bright and shiny, and it shows freedom, one part of it, which is in light, and the other part is sort of cage, and it's dark. And also the expressions, although it was like I took 2 3 photos where once he was smiling, once he was in that frame. So I picked up this one, which showed some sort of connection. He is concerned, maybe he also wants to come out, and yeah, I basically wanted to show my family, and yeah, it gave me a good mood not to have my wife there in the photo, but just shadow of her.
Excellent. That's very, very nice. Who else? Who else? Anybody wants to talk about it before I start talking about everybody's image? No one else? No comments? Okay. All right.
I think I have a thought about this photo.
Sure.
So yes, that's one thing. I think there is one story in this photo, like इसमें आज जो सिचुएशन है लाइक लॉकडाउन की, तो वो भी इसमें एक स्टोरी है कि जो ये बच्चा अंदर है, ये लाइक ऑफ काइंड ऑफ केज्ड लग रहा है अंदर ही, तो ही इज रियली ट्राइंग टू एस्केप फ्रॉम हिज होम. सो ये एक स्टोरी हो सकती है.
Yep. Very nice. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. So I am going to, I think we have 30 minutes, right? Is that right, Hipster? 30 minutes?
Yeah, we do. Yes, sir.
30 minutes. Okay, good. Good. That's good. I'm happy. We are doing it right on time, right? Without rushing. Let's start with this. First of all, let me just honestly tell you from the bottom of my heart. Every single image was just perfect. And I cannot believe it because this was the very first day, you haven't even learned anything. I know that you have been doing photography for a long time, but what I wanted to see was the story part. That's what my main goal was, to see. It's so difficult. Those people who don't do photography will never understand that when you give somebody an assignment, tell them you have 4 days to come up with a story. It is very hard, very, very hard. So what you did in like 2 days, I'm really thrilled. Very nice. So I'm going to go through these real quick because we have to talk about a technique today. I'm going to start with this photograph, which is by Mahroob. This is actually beautifully captured in action photo. It just looks almost frozen. The lighting in this photograph is just brilliant lighting. And I think the bird also has something in his paws. So Mahroob, can you tell us what, just curious, which camera did you use?
Sir, it was Canon basically. I clicked this picture with that.
Okay. Is it in your, where was this taken?
It was taken near Dargah Hazrat Bal. I have captured it there. Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the time? Morning?
Time, no. It was not morning. It was afternoon.
Okay. Very, very interesting. It looks like the lighting tells me it's sort of either morning or evening, but you got the lighting perfect. This is just brilliantly done. And I would change the composition a little bit, which we can talk about in detail again in coming classes. So I would probably come down just a little bit, put him right here.
Okay.
Other than that, honestly, I don't see any issues with this photo. And I obviously like the story. There is, like I said, something in his paws. And the expression is very, very interesting. So normally I do get somebody's waiting room. Let me see if I can get some details, metadata. No. Okay, good job. Very nice. Second up is, whose picture is that? Oh, Shemaila. Beautiful. This is really nicely done. I like when people set up a photograph. Let me just make it full. This means that they have taken pains and they have worked on this one and they really wanted to make it work. I like the concept. It is a really good still photography, a little bit creativity too, how she actually drew a camera and then she placed another camera on top of this. What really attracted me to this photograph is this sort of a circle which keeps you in the frame. You can see that these 3 colorful things are on 3 different corners. So you can see how it creates sort of a circle and you stay within the frame. But, and it was taken from above, looks like. But I like, Shemaila, would you like to say a couple things about it? What was the thought process behind it? Why you wanted to do this?
Yes, sir. Basically, it is a photo describing my all like hobbies, my likes and dislikes. I'm attracted towards roses, and there are these 3 daisies. I love daisies, and another thing is there is the on another side, which also describes my my one of my favorite thing I like to do, and obviously I'm attracted towards camera and. The last thing, which is the sketch of the camera which I have drawn, it was really a tough job for me. So basically, there are very emotions connected with this photo. So this is one of my favorite in my gallery.
And you like tea?
Yes, sir.
Very good. If at any point anybody has any comments, just raise your hand and I would love to hear from you. I'm going to move on to the next image for now. That's by Lakshmi. Okay. This photograph is obviously taken with a lot of care. It's not a random photo. And I'm not sure if Lakshmi actually arranged. This is similar to this photo. When you do something like this, it is not just photography you're doing. You are also doing designing, correct? If you don't have the sense of designing, if you don't know much about designing, it's going to be very hard to pull these photographs off because it's all about the arrangement. How do you arrange things? Here she's showing her life. She's showing her hobbies. She's showing what she loves to do. In this particular case, what we are looking at is subjects from the same sort of activity. You know, it's about studying, it's about reading, it's about knowledge, correct? Let's first hear from Lakshmi what her thought process was, and then I'm going to comment on it.
Okay, as you said now, like this picture showing like my hobbies of listening, writing, and earning. Like the wallet in this picture, like earning is another kind of, or you can say a hobby for me because I love to earn and travel. So I put all of those stuff in this photo and arrange them, like arrange kara jaise taise, like and I just click that photo and yeah.
That's good. That's good. And the one question I have is, what is this?
This is something, it is also associated with me because it's my hair clip.
Okay.
It's my hair clip. So it's associated with me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I really like the arrangement, how you arrange these things. And again, if you really guys look at this photo, you see how you're staying within the frame. Nothing is throwing you off. If she had put something on one of these corners, it would have been really terrible. You never don't want to do that because whenever you put something in a corner, it creates a shape that's very distracting. And we'll talk about that too when we talk about shapes. But I really like the arrangement. I like the muted colors, how she didn't put anything that jumps out at you. Everything is sort of color-wise and description-wise, things go along. If there was one thing that wasn't related to this, if it was like, maybe if there was a red apple, you would all be looking at that red apple right now. All right, nicely done, very good. Okay, this photograph is by Akhtar. Akhtar, tell us real quick what your description, what's going on here, and then we can move on.
Okay. I want to show their love. Like if you can see that couple, they are I think married person, and so nowadays we can see not see easily that thing after marriage. So I want to show that thing, and I also want to show that temple.
Very good.
So my main point is that couple, but when I see that temple, so that is look more good. So that's why I captured that thing also.
Yeah, very nice. I like your concept. I like your concept definitely. Just turn your computer. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. I like your concept. For me, the subject is a little bit more underexposed, but honestly, that doesn't bother me much. What you want to keep in mind when you are taking photographs like that, you do not want to get too close to the edge. You want to leave some room underneath here. So other than that, it was perfectly done. Not sure if this car was parked there or if it was moving. If this car was it parked or moving?
Sorry. No, it's not moving. Actually,
it's
that
parked.
time I was in park and I was writing my advertisement project script. So I randomly clicked that picture.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. So my point was that not sure if we didn't have a car in this shot, would we have focused more on the couple? Is that car, since it's too bright, is it taking
And
our
that, yes, that car is too bright.
Yeah. So other than that, it's very soothing photograph. Very, very calm. I like that. Okay. Just turn your microphone off. And we're going to move on to Deepak's assignment. Somebody's microphone is off. You can just turn it off. Sorry. Okay. So Deepak, real quick, tell us what's going on here.
I couldn't manage the lighting well here, but what I wanted to capture was my son is writing his online exam and my wife is praying for him behind.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I don't know how much of it captures, but I thought it to be nice and cute, but I don't know whether the photograph reflects it.
Yeah, no, it does. It does work. It definitely does work. You can tell right away what's going on here and something is going on here too, even if you didn't show the computer or whatever he was looking at, but it is definitely.
I couldn't get that angle of computer.
Yeah. But it does work. The photograph has depth. You have a foreground here, very strong. Then you have somebody in the background here, and it creates a really good depth. I like it. I like the angle right here, following this bed, going towards him. And I definitely like this triangle here. No matter what happens, you're going to always come back to his face. So it is nicely done. So we don't have a lot of time. I would love to talk more about this, but okay. So this picture is by Vipin. Very, very creative photograph, obviously. Just turn your microphones off. So Vipin did tell us what it was about, so no need to repeat that. So a couple of things I want to tell you, Vipin, about this photo. First of all, I mean, this is amazing. I mean, right away, there is a very, very strong story happening. You can tell the boy is not happy, especially the way he kept his hand on the net. That is very, very impressive. And the darkness in the background shows that he doesn't like what's going on inside. Another thing we could tell is that the shadow you see on this wall, it could be his imagination. It may not even exist. He's seeing things that he really wanted to see, but that's what the shadow tells me. If there was a real person, then the imagination part maybe wasn't there, but the shadows tell me he probably is just imagining something happy is outside. Of course, the bright color, of course, helps too. When you compose shots like these, you got really creative about it, but if you had gone a little bit further down, I'm not sure what was underneath there. Maybe you didn't want to show it. I would have loved to see more bottom so that I could see these eyes right here. That's what I would have loved to see. Okay. So other than that, story-wise, it's brilliantly done. Why did I do that? I'm going to talk about it today, a little bit later. But other than that, brilliantly done. Very nice story.
So just to interrupt you, like here a little, can we discuss Prapti's photo here, because she's having low battery and she would like to really discuss. Yeah.
Okay, which one is your photo? Prapti, hold on a second. I can do that. I will accommodate you for sure. Give me a second.
The 12th one.
12th? Oh, okay, 12th. This one. Okay, we'll talk about that first, for sure. Okay, first thing I noticed is that the room at the bottom, leave more room. Leave more room. Do not place subjects too close to the edge, especially when you have left space on the top. So I would have loved to see this book a little bit more. I'm not sure what it is. Looks like a pen. Yeah, I would have loved to see it. But other than that, I really like how the framing in this photograph, how you have sort of a double frame. You have this light, it's creating a frame. And then there is one more frame here. It looks like it's a picture frame. And I really love the shape. It's a triangle shape. of her body. And it's an action shot. And the only thing I would have probably fixed was give more room here. Never get too close to the, and also see this little corner here. Let me just, oops. Let me just go there. So this one. I said before, try watch your corners. Make sure nothing like this happens because this throws you off the frame. Okay. So this is very easy fix. Here we go. That's all we have to do. And there are a few things we could have done. Maybe calm down a little bit more. Maybe we don't need a whole lot off the top, but I'm going to leave it right now. So you can just say real quick if you have to say anything. We can move on. Prapti, any comments? No? Okay, no problem. Well, at least you got to show your image. We go to the next one is by Vikas. All right, Vikas. So first question would be for you is, did you use a cell phone? Is that what it is? Is that why it looks like
Yeah,
that?
sir.
Yeah.
I used my cell phone. So there was
Okay.
no one at my home. So to click the photo, so I kept in somewhere. So I thought this could be the good one.
Okay.
And yeah, so actually I clicked this photo very intensely. Like, and there's some philosophical context behind this picture by taking this thing. Like I'm carrying something there and broom is there. So it shows something related to my life. Like, and I am to do something.
Right.
A life is a linear somewhere. Like, and I don't see, I speculate a lot about my life. So that's
Right.
the idea behind it. And it shows my life and where do I live, in what sort of a accommodations I do possess. So that tells a lot of about me apart from my interest and other things. So that was the idea behind clicking this picture. Yeah, sir.
It's brilliant. It's actually really, really nice. Is that you? Is that a self-portrait? Is that what you're saying? Or no, it's someone else?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's me, sir.
Yeah, it is beautiful, actually, to be honest with you. I'll show you why, because I love frames. I love how you created this dark space, and then here is one more frame. It's a double frame. The only thing I probably would have taken care of, which since it was self-portrait, you couldn't put your camera properly, but I would have gone maybe a little more up here. I would have probably got this one, and I probably will come down just a little bit more from the top right here. So this is after you take the picture. This is like post photograph.
Yes.
It's easily done, but I love the concept. Very nicely done. An excellent job. Excellent job right there. Okay. Next, we already talked about this picture. I'm not going to say much about it. The only thing I'm going to mention is a couple of things, actually. Look how many things are in the shot, right? So much going on, but still it works. And we did mention it in the first class. If things are related and they are about the person that you're showing in the picture, they never look crowded. It doesn't look crowded at all. Nothing looks crowded in this picture. And somebody rightly pointed out motion in the hand, showing as if it is a moving image. One thing I'm not sure, taking it from a lower angle, I guess because you wanted to show the wall, probably that's why it was taken like that. But I love the image. It's really nicely done. So moving on to the next photograph, this is by Mahak. Beautiful. I mean, this is just brilliant lighting, and I love the framing. I love the sense of place where the photographer is. Always use that. She could have easily ignored these steps, and she could have taken this picture like that. Look what happened in the photo. It just got ruined. Little things make a huge difference. These 3 steps right here are really making this photo. Love the lighting, love the composition is brilliant. Very nicely done. Okay, I'm going to move on. I know I wanted you to talk about it, but we don't have enough time because I have to talk about a technique also. So this one is also really nice. The bottom is probably too much for me. I probably would come up right here and crop it right here. See, now it's more impactful and we are not losing any details at the bottom. Okay. But other than that, I really like it. This was Farzana's image, right? Yeah. This image is by Jeewika. This is also really cool. I mean, I can tell this is taken from a moving car. And a little bit too much crop here, but I guess it works. Maybe you wanted to avoid something. You didn't want to get that in the shot. But I definitely like this window going towards her face. And I like the angle of the dog and her hand. And it's a pretty good story, very nice story. Okay, so I would get your thoughts, maybe some other point, but because I want to go through these real quick. We talked about this. This is a perfect example of showing somebody what that person is about. What I'm curious about is this: why is this chair here? Is this for two people, or is this his second chair where he wants to spin around when he gets tired? Or maybe someone else sits there. Other than that, it's brilliant. I do the same thing. Put your work on the wall. This will be very helpful for you because you will keep looking at it and finding mistakes and fixing it, when you have to. I wouldn't put an expensive camera on a monopod like this. It may fall. Other than that, it's nicely done, very nicely done. Self-portraits. I really want to do that, okay? I wanted your input, but at this time, I just want to show everybody's photos and move on. This is nicely done, okay? Right now, just let me talk so that we can, finish on time. This is beautifully done. This tells you it's in the train. Definitely tells you it's in the train. What I don't know why it was taken in a portrait mode. Maybe because you didn't want to show other things on sides. Maybe there was something else going on here, but I probably would have wanted to see it just a little bit like that. Maybe bring it in just a tad. But it's a really good story. Very nicely done. This picture is by Shankar. Real quick, Shankar, this is nice idea. I like the concept. It's very important what's in the frame. It's also very important what shouldn't be in the frame. Okay, this is a really good example of that. I would probably not include that. So if you had moved a little bit to your left, you could have eliminated that. And also the blue color is too strong. But other than that, I like the story. Your desktop, your workstation, this is what it looks like. Okay, beautiful. And this one is really nice. This is taken by Christina. I love the mood here. Maybe a little underexposed. I'm just open up, just add this much. I love the lighting. Lighting is awesome. And the leading lines going into the shot, which we're going to be talking about in our next session, I guess, fourth workshop. So you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Beautiful. This image was a little too small for me. I had to enlarge it, but it's beautifully done. This was taken by Amir. Excellent example of arranging people in the shot. Obviously, he didn't arrange them, but they just happened to fall like that. We have a triangle here. Okay. Then we have this person. If you look at him, you're going to look at him because he's pointing towards him. And then this creates a circle. Not only that, then this triangle here is taking you into the scene. So this wall and this wall is joining right here, and it's forcing you, look into the shot. And I like that. I'm not sure if you thought about it, but it just is working. It's a beautiful storytelling shot. This one is by Mustafa. I really like the angle of this photo, the way it was composed. I like the way it's going into the shot. A little bit of too much bright light here. Maybe if you had moved a little bit to your right and gotten rid of some of this. Other than that, it's definitely technically nicely done. Somebody's microphone is on. We're going to talk about this one real quick. I like the concept of framing it, and I think there is some sort of smoke around it. I love how you have placed it off center, a little bit too close to the edge. Should have been a little bit more space on this side. But other than that, very nice. That was by Deepak. And this one is by, not sure whose image this is. You can tell me whose image that is. Just mention your name, please.
That's Ramu.
Okay. Excellent shot. Again, the only thing I can tell about this particular photo is you cropped his feet. Okay. So if you are cropping, you want to crop as if at a natural cropping place. It could have been probably either here, maybe here, but you don't want to crop half feet because I can see some part of the foot. Other than that, beautiful exposure and a very mysterious photograph. I like the monotone look of it, the blue tone throughout the photograph. Very nicely done. Next one is Owais. We talked about it. I think it's excellent composition. I think it's excellent storytelling. There are a few things that we could fix, but I don't think we need to get into that right now. This one is a really good storytelling photograph by Ayush. I love, I like the emotions and the action you captured. Obviously, you didn't mean to include this black area. We can crop it out. And I think it's pretty powerful and storytelling photograph. This one tells a story about somebody who loves to paint. And this is by Suraj. I'm not sure about the format, but it does tell a story. Maybe show a little bit more of the desk. What's going on the desk? That would have been probably better. And the last image we have is by Sama. Beautiful shot. This is just brilliantly done. Amazing light. I'm just looking at it. I love the curves. I liked, everything about this photo. Just a little bit, I'm very picky. It's just a tad tilted. I would probably fix that right this. Other than that, it's a brilliant photograph. It's come down a little bit more. I don't want to crop it too much because there's a lot of beautiful stuff going on in the background. And it is a unique shot, and everybody has done an amazing work. Like I said before, we want to wrap up because we don't have a lot of time because we are running a little bit late, and because I have to talk about one more technique, and then we're going to go to our final session here. All right. So thank you so much for submitting your images. Really, really, really happy to see your work, and very impressive, to be very honest with you, very impressive. Okay, we're going to talk about one technique today so that that is the rule of thirds. We are now talking about how to write your story. Now that you have a concept in mind, now we want to figure out how do we show it in a very powerful and effective manner. For that, we use techniques. You may call them rules, but I don't like to call them rules because you think when we talk about rules, you think I'm not supposed to break it. So no, rules are meant to be broken, but break them only after you know what they are. Rule of thirds is probably one of the most common and talked about rule or guide, which majority of the people miss. The short answer to this rule is do not place your subject dead center. Just keep that in mind. And there are a couple of variations to that, which we will discuss real quick right here. So what is rule of thirds? Rule of thirds is if you place a grid, which most of the cameras do have, even cell phones come with these grids, you do not want to place anything right here, smack in the middle. Subject should be placed along these lines or on these intersections, either here or here. Like in this particular case, we have a tomato sitting smack in the middle of the rule of the tic-tac-toe, these 9 boxes, okay? It is, and you're gonna ask me why we do that. Ask people, those painters in 18th century who came up with this rule. I think the idea behind it is that anything dead center is boring and people's eyes rest on off center on these intersections. That's where eyes rest. Whenever viewer looks at an image, the eyes rest here. That's where you want to place your subject. There are exceptions to this rule. We'll talk about that. But rather than doing that, we should be doing this. Okay, we have a choice, either put it here or put it here. We will talk about that when we decide where to put it, here or here. So I decided to put it on this side, on the left-hand side. All right. Same thing with this. Dead center, you don't want to do that. You want to place it on one side. Okay. So just avoid this area here. Now, remember this. When something is moving, you want to leave room in front of it. So remember we have rule of thirds. We have either this line, place subject here or here. Okay, in this particular case, we could have placed it either here or here. Why didn't we place this here? If we had placed it there, then this is what would have happened. He has nowhere to go. There is no flow in the image. Okay, that's why when it comes to moving subjects, you want to leave room in front of the subject. We will be talking about this rule a lot in future workshops. So don't worry about if you don't get the whole thing. Another thing where it's moving, look, horse is moving and there's space in front of her. A bird is flying and there's space in front of the bird. The bird is walking and there's space in front of the bird. And this person is playing golf. Rather than placing him on the left side of the line, you don't want to do that. It would have been like this. You can tell he's going nowhere, but you will see some filmmakers actually have shots like these. That serves a completely different purpose. Let's not get into that right now. Okay, so right now you want to leave room in front of the subject. Okay, one more shot like that. Now, moving on. Now, look at this picture. This is pretty interesting. So she is looking to the right side. So I left her room towards the right. As soon as she turned around, I switched the position. I left the room this way. Okay. So here she's looking to the right. So I left room to the right. That's what you should be doing. As soon as you see something like this, you want to leave room in the direction of where a person is looking into. Okay. All right, moving on. We will talk about this again, like I said, in next workshop. So don't worry about if you don't. Horizon, whenever there is a line like this, you do not want to place it dead center. So my point is, look how if we tic-tac-toe, this is center from top to bottom. Okay, dead center images, they look really, really boring. You definitely don't want to do that. So what we want to do here is place our tic-tac-toe on it. Look at that. Not good. You want that line either on this horizon, you want either horizon here or here. That depends on where is the more information. So in this particular case, we have more information on the bottom, right? That's why we should include more bottom and less top. There's nothing on the top. That's what I exactly did here. This one, we showed more top and less bottom, and is not working, but this will work. Here we go. This is how it should have been. Okay. So never place it dead center like that. You want to pick a horizon either on upper third, this line, either here, or this line should go right here. So this wouldn't make any sense because we have a lot of empty space on the top. We rather use the bottom portion more, just like that, because there's more details on the bottom portion. Same thing here. We have horizon. We placed it upper third because we wanted to show more of the bottom, but this should not be dead center. This photograph shouldn't be like this. It looks pretty odd. Okay, that's another rule when we're talking about rule of thirds. All right, let's talk about what about humans? What do we do with people when it comes to rule of thirds? The only thing you want to remember right now when it comes to people is eyes should be on the upper third. Okay, not dead center. It shouldn't be like this. Always place eyes on the upper third. You can get creative about it and maybe place it maybe here, if that's the story you are telling. but generally speaking, that's where the eyes should be. Okay, same thing here. Her eyes are right on the upper third line. They are not here. Got it? Okay, you want to take care of that. Same thing here. We have a mid portrait with mid-sized body. We placed him on rule of thirds. He's not dead center. And we placed his eyes on the upper. Around the upper, not exactly on, but around the upper. Look, he's on this line, and then eyes are over here. It doesn't have to be exactly on the line, by the way. Okay, but it should be somewhere there. Not like this. This would be a terrible photo. Okay, you do not want to do that. Like somebody pointed out before, too much headroom. Okay, there we go. Now, let's talk about a couple of exceptions. I think when you have a mirror image, when things are reflecting top to bottom, you could place it dead center if you want to. You can break the rule there. And something is symmetrical. If you cut it into two, left and right, it will be same on both sides. You can place it dead center. We will play with that. I just wanted to introduce this idea. And I'm also going to send you a video that will explain it in a better way. But right now, again, you can see here, she is dead center because it's a symmetrical image. And you have an option of either placing her on the rule of thirds, you could place it here too. But I think it works better by placing her dead center. Also, she is very small compared to the rest of the image. That's, again, another area where you can place your subject dead center to sort of make sure that they are center of the attraction in the photograph, okay? So all you need to remember, rule of thirds is avoid dead center, okay? When it's flowing, something is walking, moving, leave space in front of it, okay? And when it's human being, place eyes on upper third, not in the center. And if it's symmetrical, you can break the rule. There's no problem with that, okay? So from now onwards, whenever you submit an assignment, I wanna see this. Don't break the rule yet. You're more than welcome to do it later on. But next workshop, when you bring in any assignment from now onwards, I wanna see this rule being followed, okay? So if you have any questions real quick, if not, we are done for the day today, and we're gonna come back next Saturday. There's a question by Sohaib. Go ahead, Sohaib.
So what when we are taking the close-up shots of the portraits, so I think we can follow the rule of thirds there, because as you said, as you showed the previous picture of a kid wearing a hat, we can see that the whole hat has been cropped off.
Right. Absolutely nothing. Are you saying why the hat was cropped?
Yes.
Yeah, there is absolutely nothing wrong with even cropping the head off in portraits, as long as the expression is there, as long as the face is there. We will discuss that when it comes to taking pictures of people. I will give you more tips on that one. And in that particular picture, eyes should always be on the upper third. Whenever you are taking a picture of a person, eyes should be on upper third. That's the one main thing you want to keep in mind. But cropping off hats or cropping off even head isn't a problem in a headshot. Absolutely no problem with that. But we will discuss that more. My backdrop fell. We will discuss that more when we talk about people pictures, okay? All right, any other questions? Okay, then I'm going to give it over to you guys for, is this feedback? Before that, let me just talk to you about this one. So next workshop, we're going to be diving deeper into storytelling, because after all, photography is about storytelling. And we will give you assignment, should go out tomorrow. And this whole process will make sense slowly. So if you are a little bit nervous about it at this point, don't be. Just follow it, and then you will be fine at the end of the day. Any questions you have, just give me a call, okay? Or send me a text or WhatsApp. So back to you guys.
Thank you so much. Guys, can we all be on the video and have a group picture? You all were not looking good in the last picture we took. You can smile at least this time. But just share your thoughts one by one. About today's session. What has been your learnings and what are you looking forward in the next session? So I think when we start discussing pictures, as Sohail sir was mentioning, that it takes a lot of time to discuss and get deeper into it. But then because we are doing it virtually, so we have to confine to the timelines. We'll make sure that eventually over the course of time, we immerse deeper into the understanding, because, it all starts from this place, and this is going to be, a greater learning for you and a place to capture thoughts. One by one, I'll take first name about your thoughts for today's workshop and what are the expectations. And I have Deepak in front of me, who is going to start. And Deepak, please tag somebody after you're done.
Thank you. I think it was brilliant session for me for two reasons. One, it was demonstrative learning. I mean, one of the better ones I have seen. A lot of pictures that Suhail explained, and then small things, how can they change entire outlook of the picture, outlook of the photo. Very, very nice. And the rule of third also was good in the end. But I like the demonstration. I mean, I think that's how one learns more, dealing and explaining and debriefing the real pictures. Thank you.
So it was a day full with so many stories, and it was so interesting to see different interesting photos with stories, and how Suhail sir, told us about each photo. What was there interesting, what could have been better. So all these were a lot of learning. As Deepak bhai also shared, that looking at the photos itself, it's a learning. It's a great learning, and that was very interesting. And one interesting part for me today was that like every photo, it is relevant as per the theme. Means it can be relevant, means a photo, as he always says, no photo is good or bad. But if you have a theme, so a photo which may not appeal you, but on that particular theme it can make sense. So that was very interesting. And of course, rule of third, like we just knew about this rule that we should do it this way. But the other part of it, like the horizon, the portrait, I was not aware of these things. So that were very, very interesting points, and with the with the examples. So that was an interesting part. Thank you so much. I see Suhaib bhai in front of me.
So all I would like to say that it was an interesting session, and there are a lot more questions coming to my mind So it feels like I've been doing photography since very long, and now I think that I have been doing all wrong. So there's a lot more to learn, mostly about this rule of thirds. I have many questions about this.
For me, like today's session was so interactive and like it's so amazing. And the rule of third is new for me. So it like I must say the rule of third is very new to me, and it is very interesting to know more about it. I'll read some more blogs and articles related to this rule, and we'll get back to the next session when I hope the next session will be more interactive from my side when I learned and I read more and more things related to that rule and another things to related to photography.
I think, of course, thanks for spilling the beans around rule of thirds, because जब से आपने बोला तब से we've been discussing, and we still felt what it is, and so so that was uh, one highlight. And then around the group work, I think the one that we did in today's session. It was interesting to me, like personally, like all of us were sitting in a smaller group and then brainstorming and then, coming to a larger group, that idea where each and everyone participates in a smaller circle where they feel a little more safer to be able to, talk and not feel judged, if at all, I mean, it happens sometimes. And then, coming to the larger group and then talking about it. uh, there were lots of questions that came up during our smaller group also. So I have one question which is unanswered and I would like to ask, but not now, once we are finished with this round.
They were such as controlling the lights, rules of third, and frames, double frames, rooms to four sides of a photo. Everything was totally nice and great. I learned a lot. Thank you, sir.
So today I learned about rule of third, and I heard from my friends about that one, but I don't know how to implement. But now I can try it, and for me that is new, and I feel happy for this session because after whole day it gave me energy to this session.
So this session was again very interactive. The thing I learned is I always had challenges taking a portrait. Now the angle thing I can add to that. I hope I will improve in that.
So great. We have, I think, everybody has spoken. Thank you so much, guys. I think all the learnings happen with the seriousness and the assignment completions, because learning photography is not something that you will learn now. It is also about the discipline that you follow after every session, in capturation, in whatever you were doing. How has that been changed, in these two workshops? uh, Going forward, I mean, Anas, would you like to talk about the informal dinner? So, guys,
Yes.
in this week, Anas is going to talk about what we have apart from the workshop that we will have on the Saturday. Anas, please.
Before I go ahead, Suhaib, do you have to share anything? I can see your hand raised.
Yes, yes, sir. Sorry for disturbing. I still have one question first, sir. If we have time, can you please answer me?
Sure. Go ahead.
So actually, I have a photograph to show, which is one of my favorite photographs, and I can see that that doesn't follow rule of thirds. I want actually I want your comments on that. So
Sure.
how would have I improved that
So,
one?
have just in the
Suhaib,
interest of, okay.
Yeah. Suhaib, I would request you if you can please send it in maybe WhatsApp group
Yeah.
or personally to Suhail sir. I mean, just in the interest of everybody, we just don't want to push everybody's timing.
Okay.
Yeah, just send it to me in WhatsApp.
Sorry for cutting you out. Jeevika, you want to
Okay,
have,
okay, that's
you
no
want to
problem.
share something?
No,
If I'm pressing, please go ahead.
no, that's no problem.
I like the excitement, and that's good. I love that.
Likewise.
Okay.
When we are taking a portrait, is it necessary that the subject needs to be looking into the lens, or
No, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. Subject doesn't have to look into the lens, but it is always extremely effective when there's an eye contact. But sometimes the story doesn't work like that. Sometimes you don't have to. You're looking away. Those pictures can also look awesome, but if you want to create an impact, and if it's what a person looks like and what he's about, you want to have an eye contact in there with the viewer. Yeah.
And a follow-up question: is the portrait only up to certain portion of the body, or a full body portrait is also
right? It can be anything. It can be half. It can be headshot. It can be full length body. It doesn't matter. Yeah. We'll talk about it when I talk about people photography.
Thank you so much, Jeevika and Suhail. Sir, in case anybody has any more clarifications, you can always reach out directly, indirectly to Suhail sir in WhatsApp groups or WhatsApp chats, wherever you find you are comfortable. I mean, I just want to make sure that we are there to hear you and always compliment whatever we have already learned. Now bringing this today's workshop to the closure, as we had spoken about our informal meetup on the day one, wherein we are just trying to know each other better. We are planning for an informal meet, which we had named as Chai, Chador, or Sardi. So what we are going to do is that post our today's workshop, we're going to share two time slots with the group, and whatever works with the majority, we'll go with that. It's definitely not mandatory, but we're sure we're going to have a lot of fun in the group meetup, and it will be a chance to know each other better and to bring to build a better cohort and to know each other on a personal level and maybe connect more. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So looking forward to connect you all before our third workshop in our informal meetup. Yeah, over to you, Omar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for being patient. I know like you guys are running late for dinner, but I mean, this is going to go like this because there are a lot of questions and we are leaving with a lot of curiosity. But going forward, we'll be immersing deeper into the understanding of technicalities and elements of storytelling in the next workshop. And that actually will change your perspective towards life first and then towards your photography. So very, very important for all of you to be there, fully. But yes, please make use of WhatsApp group. We can see just only few people responding. A lot of times the reason for not being in the WhatsApp is the ego that plays in between. A lot of people do respond and a lot of people think beyond before responding. What would be my take. It is a matter of courtesy for a lot of people, who are putting not just about us, like we inform and then we have calling and other processes going on. But when you are interacting with each other, just make it more like an informal safe space for you guys. Respond to each other, enjoy, I mean, make friends, because trust me, I have had my classmates, I mean, in fact all of us while growing up, but whatever friendships we developed in these diverse cohorts have stayed with us, and it has offered and added a lot of value to our lives. So just connect to each other and be active on the group, and eat well, sleep well, and we'll see you at the informal dinner. But informal dinner will be all about you. We are going to hear you all out. So come prepared, have every talent that you have, come with that. In fact, even if you are cooking or just virtually showing us how to cook or whatever you have. Thank you so much, guys, for today. Thank you so much for being with us, and take care. We'll see you in the informal dinner. Then we have a very significant session, workshop on storytelling on next Saturday. Take care. Bye bye, guys.